What's up everyone, welcome once again to the channel. It's your boy Luis, and today we are going to be talking about a topic that is not so common in the world of pageantry, but that is very important indeed, and that is money. The other day I was scrolling on my Facebook account and I saw this couple of posts by Sash Factor that really made me want to talk about this topic. They were basically presenting some of our favorite pageants and what the salary of the title holder looks like, alongside some of the perks that they might get with the international title. Some of them are very precise, some of them have a little bit of speculation. I happen to know some of the details about these salaries, and for other organizations I'm not so familiar. So today we're going to be going through this information and I will be breaking down for you guys what I know is accurate and what I think needs a little bit more clarification. A lot of people like to question the relevance of pageantry in 2025, and honestly I think that this is one of the reasons why the girls sometimes want to go into pageantry. There are some perks and they can sometimes make some real money and enhance their lifestyle and their careers in the process. So if you enjoyed this topic, you know what to do, and without further ado, let's get right into this. Alright, so let's start with one of the most obvious pageants, for the reason that they were really outspoken about the cash prizes and what the title holders could expect, and that is of course Miss Cosmo. Miss Cosmo debuted in 2024 and it made a whole lot of buzz for sometimes amazing reasons and sometimes not so great reasons, but that is a completely different conversation. In terms of the title holder and what she can expect, Miss Cosmo was open about delivering a very prestigious crown that the girl can take for 1 year. So that's something that she gets to keep. It's something that she gets to wear during the year. A cash prize of $100,000, which is one of the trends that we have been seeing in pageantry for the past couple of years. More and more pageants try to put their cash prizes alongside these lines. An apartment, of course a luxury apartment in Vietnam to live in for a year, and I believe that she also gets to stay with the first runner-up in Vietnam. A phone, which is a Virtue Iron Flip Jade Black Calf Best Fee phone. Okay, I'm not sure what all of that is supposed to mean, but I am guessing this is one of the sponsors of the competition, so it will make sense. She can also expect some high-end diamond jewelry set from Ngoc Chau Au, which I'm guessing, once again, one of the sponsors. Healthcare, a VIP healthcare package at FV Hospital for 1 year, a car, and resort and golf courses. So accommodations at international standard resorts and golf courses. So those are some of the things that the girl can expect if she gets to win Miss Cosmo International. The most appealing thing here is of course the $100,000 cash prize that the girl gets to keep. Everything else seems to be more of an experience, but what I'm really interested to see is if Miss Cosmo will keep this cash prize amount, because sometimes what pageants do is that for the first edition they put a really high prize amount, and then for next editions they reduce it. So sometimes you will hear them talk about money a lot in the first edition, and for the next editions they don't really mention the cash prize anymore, so people assume that it is the same thing as in the first edition. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about some of the international and major pageants, in my humble opinion, although some people out there do not agree with that, but more precisely about Miss International. So according to Sash Factor, they have to say the exact details of the prizes received by Miss International winners are not widely disclosed. However, an article highlighting Gemma Cruz, a Filipino and Asian to win Miss International in 1964, representing the Philippines, she donated $10,000 US. This was in 1964. They do mention that it's likely that over time these prices have gone up, as this is, you know, a couple of decades ago. I happen to know for a fact that just a couple of years ago, the cash prize for Miss International was $20,000 cash, US dollars. So the girl gets to keep that amount. I believe that some of it is giving in the beginning of the reign, in some of it is giving at the very end of the reign, depending of the years and who the sponsors are, who the jewel makers are. The girls get to keep a little tiara, or sometimes they get jewelry made with pearls. It really depends, honestly. I know that recently with the newer sponsor of the crown, they were getting some jewelry with pearls, and for sure $20,000, which, listen, is not bad, because Miss International is one of those pageants that doesn't require you to like work all throughout the year and travel endlessly, they actually allow you to just go back home, integrate once again in your life, your work and your studies, and do some work for Miss International on the side. And now when it comes to Miss Earth, they mentioned details about the prices for Miss Earth winners are not often shared online. However, in the pageant's early years, winners received $10,000 and gifts from sponsors during the coronation night. It's likely that the prices have increased over time, but the organization places greater emphasis on its advocacy, which remains a more relevant and sustainable focus. That is very true. Honestly, Miss Earth, I have never really seen them talk publicly about how much money they pay to the winners. I do happen to know that for a couple of the winners, they have received upwards of 20,000 US dollars. I am not sure if that is steady, like yearly amount that they give to the winners, or if it depends on the amount of work and travels that they get to do all throughout the year. But I know for a fact that these numbers of 10,000 for a couple of years or like a decade ago are outdated at this point. The girls get something alongside the lines of 20,000 US dollars. All right, let's move on to Miss Charm. And here Sash Factor had to mention that the first prize award of Miss Charm in 2023 is worth 100,000 US dollars. And notice how they mentioned the first prize award in 2023, meaning that I would have to double check if for this year's edition, if for the 2024 edition, did Miss Charm also announce that the winner is getting 100,000 US dollars? I'm not sure. If they did mention it, then yes, the girl is getting it. If not, probably the amount has been reduced. That's something that I would have to go and double check. The winner at the Miss Charm not only owns a noble crown, but also gets a cash amount of 1 billion in Vietnamese currency. The reigning Miss and the runner-ups will spend a year living and working in Vietnam to contribute to promoting the culture, educational tourism, and the S-shaped land. And at the time of participating, many volunteer and communal activities and festivals. Okay, so when it comes to Miss Charm, last year's cash prize, we have to go and double check. But one thing that I can honestly give them props for is that they seem to take care of their queen well. The first title holder in 2023 from Brazil, she did travel. She did have apparently like a good lifestyle. She did have different experiences. And although the pageant had some inconsistencies in terms of delays and this and that, at least the care for the queen seemed to be there. So no complaints or criticism when it comes to that. I wonder though, this is my questioning, if Miss Charm is able to keep up in the long term. How are they making this like a sustainable business model? Because especially with the delays and everything that is happening, the ups and downs, I wonder if this is really making any money for the organization just yet. Unless they're running it at a loss in the first couple of years, hoping to eventually make it profitable. I'm not sure. Moving on to Miss Supranational. The Miss Supranational pageant offers a variety of prizes to the winner, including cash, representation, and gifts. Representation meaning that the winner is presented by Noah Sina, the owner of the Miss Supranational competition for a year. So she does get basically like management to be represented all over the world and be promoted all over the world. In terms of the gifts, the winner receives gifts from the sponsors. I know this to be true, as even on the male side of things for the Mr. Supranational competition, you get a lot of different gifts and cute things from the sponsors of the competition. Gerhard, the president of the Miss Supranational organization, announced on May 27, 2024 that our new brand ambassador to be selected at the final show of the 15th Miss Supranational will be taking home 50,000 US dollars. This is an upgrade from previous years, as I believe that the Miss Supra would get 40,000 US dollars or 45,000 US dollars. In addition to gifts from our sponsors and the opportunity to represent the organization in countries around the world. So of course you get the travel perks, usually you travel first class, and hopefully with the management side of things, you also get some side gigs and opportunities in industry that will open new doors for you that will last hopefully even after your reign. I think that the 50,000 US dollar price range is very realistic. It's pretty generous considering some of the cash prizes out there or organizations that might announce 100,000 one year and then it's silence for the rest. Instead, I do praise Miss Supra for from time to time increasing slowly but surely the cash amount for the winner, and every year being very clear and upfront about it, as we all have seen those photos of the queen with the check and the amount that they win during the finals, right? So let me know down below, what do you think about this cash prize? Now let's talk about Miss Grand International, and I know a lot of you might be interested about this one, as supposedly Miss Grand is one of those organizations that really goes after the business, so we all wonder how much a reigning Miss International can actually make. Here's the information that we have. The winner of the 2024 competition will take home an array of prestigious prizes, including the iconic golden crown. This exquisite crown made from gold, brass, diamonds, and emeralds is redesigned every 3 years, ensuring each version remains unique. After completing the reign, the queen doesn't get to keep the actual crown, but instead she gets another version of the crowns that is not precisely the same, but it's more of a symbolic crown representative of the achievement and her victory during that year. Other than the crown, of course, the title holders of Miss Grand International and the fourth runner-ups also receive cash prizes, and they get induction into the Miss Grand International Hall of Fame, solidifying their legacy within the pageant's history. Honestly, the Hall of Fame thing is giving a little bit of drag race, but no problem with this. I mean, it's one of the perks, so good for them. We all know that Miss Grand International, the title holder, and the runner-ups, they stay in Thailand sometimes upwards of like 3 months, so they really get to experience the country a lot. They do a lot of different activities, and they do have a lot of business commitments. Like, these girls are busy, they go to events, they attend galas, they go to TV, they do live selling, which although a lot of people criticize them for, I mean, it's a way for the organization to make money. So no judgment, you make your money as you can. Taking all of these things into consideration, there is no specific amount that is mentioned by Miss Grand International as the amount that they pay their title holders. However, some sources have said that the price for the winner has not been announced officially, but in 2021, Nguyen Thuc Tuy Tien, who was the Vietnamese winner of Miss Grand International, received a cash prize of 60,000 US dollars, which honestly, again, it's very decent. I wonder if this has gone up, as in the past couple of years, Miss Grand International has been scaling up in terms of the organization, diversifying the revenue, increasing license fees. This is no secret. So I wonder if this has also impacted the salary of the queen. Honestly, with the amount of buzz that Miss Grand International gets and just the overall image that they try to present, I wouldn't be surprised if the winner was making anything alongside the lines of $100,000, although we don't know if Nawat is really putting all of that money into the queen's pocket, or rather just reinvesting it into the business, as the production of Miss Grand International every year must be very expensive. Who knows? But so far, this is what we can assume with the information that we have. We have 2 more pageants to talk about, and the first one is Miss World. So we are getting into the alphas territory here. Miss World being the oldest beauty pageant in the world, and also being known for its charitable and philanthropic activities, meaning that not only they pay a salary to their queen, but also they do reinvest a lot of money in their advocacy, which is of course giving back to those in need. The winner of the Miss World becomes an ambassador for various charitable causes supported by the organizations such as humanitarian efforts, healthcare initiatives, and environmental conservation projects. She travels extensively, promoting peace and goodwill amongst nations while raising awareness and funds for charitable endeavors. Here's the nuance with the Miss World organization. As I mentioned in the beginning, the focus, the prime duty of the queen is to become an ambassador and promote the different causes. We know that this is true. We always see the Miss World is booked and busy all over the world doing precisely this. Nobody can question that. We see her always in very high profile events alongside very high profile people and doing high profile things. So no complaints, nothing to question when it comes to that. They promote peace, which is true, goodwill, which is true. And here's something that I really like about Miss World. Although the girl is acting as an ambassador and she's taking on all of this work, she is not necessarily selling or trying to get you to buy anything, but instead she is raising awareness about the issues that they care about, and they also raise funds for charitable endeavors, meaning that they go where the rich and the wealthy are and they present all of these things that they care about, and hopefully they're able to get money for those charities and those people who need it the most. I do really respect this model because it's not about getting money from your fans' pocket or anything like that, but instead just, getting the money from those who have it and just giving it to those who need it the most. Now, let's talk about what the queen gets to keep in her pocket. In addition to their new platform, they also earn $1 million. $1 million to help begin to kick off their humanitarian career and to transform their lives in the process as they begin to become one of the world's most influential voices. Now, here's the thing. Every single time I hear this thing that Miss World is making $1 million, and I'm gonna give you the truth. I'm gonna give you what I know to be a reality. I believe that the overall cash prize of a Miss World might be around $1 million, but within that amount, we include not only the money that she is raising, right? Not what she's earning, what she is raising and what she is investing in those communities and the charities and advocacy that she is passionate about. So it's not something that she gets to keep in her pocket. When you think about former Miss Worlds, although this is not the most hype pageant on social media or anymore the pageant that has the most visibility, I cannot really think of a Miss World that went through her reign and then had a drastic downgrade in her lifestyle. So I feel like for the most part, these girls are getting opportunities after their reign that allow them to keep, a lifestyle that it's at least above what they had before they won the competition. Not so much anymore, but back in the day, they used to have contracts with Hollywood or with certain magazines, and the girls get to keep this public persona. Just think of Priyanka Chopra, to name an example. I did message some people close to the Miss World environment, and some of their assumptions is that the real salary of a Miss World is perhaps within the $100,000 to $200,000 US range, which, don't get me wrong, it is still astronomical. It is a lot of money, and as I said, I do admire their business model and the way that they get to not only make money but also give back to other communities. If you happen to know in reality how much money a Miss World makes, please let me know in the comment section down below. Alright, last but definitely not least, let's talk about the one, the only, and the biggest of them all, Miss Universe. So, of course, Miss Universe being the alpha pageant, everyone would expect them to have the biggest cash prize and the best perks. So here is the information that's out there. Alright, so the winner of Miss Universe gets a $250,000 cash prize. How accurate is this? I'm not so sure, to be honest. I'm not questioning it. I'm not saying that it's not true, but I'm also not in a position where I can confidently sit here and tell you guys this is how much money they're making. Perhaps this was disclosed a couple of years ago, and by years I mean maybe like a decade and a half ago. But I don't see it in today's day and age, a Miss Universe making $250,000, especially with the new focus of the organization, which is more of a business model and how they're selling products and the queen is traveling and all of those things. Of course, I do believe that a Miss Universe has a substantial salary, but I don't know, maybe I'm just being skeptical about it. A $50,000 monthly salary during her reign, as reported by EFE. I do believe this is a typo from Sash Factor. Maybe they're talking about like $5,000 monthly salary during her reign. And honestly, let's be honest about it. If you were a Miss Universe and you're earning $5,000 US cash in your pocket for the year, that's not bad at all. Like, a lot of people work like high-profile corporate jobs and whatnot, and they don't make that amount. So for you to be able to make that money while traveling the world, while getting luxury treatment, while getting, expensive dresses and all of these perks, is not really bad at all. The opportunity to champion charitable causes and promote international initiatives, true, a little bit less in recent years, but still true. All expenses paid for trips in private jets. This is also mostly true. Usually when the Miss Universe gets to travel, she is normally invited by an organization, a country, a tourism board, or someone that is financing her trip and her team's trip as well. The reigning queen also lives for a year in the organization's luxurious apartment in New York City. There's a debate around this on whether or not they still had the New York City apartment. It's unclear, to be honest, but at least the most recent example that we had was Shanice. Shanice barely stayed in the US. She was always on the go, traveling, which is also a positive thing, right? Miss Universe will get to host a Miss Universe upcoming YouTube travel show, which up until now we haven't heard any of it. So I'm not sure if this is still happening. And she also gets to keep a luxurious watch. There's a specific brand, maybe I was mixing this with Miss Cosmo. I think it's Miss Universe that gets to keep it. I'm not sure of the brand, but I mean, luxury watch, why not? So that's one of the perks. And alright, so these are some of the big numbers that are available out there in terms of how much the international title holders are realistically making in the beauty pageant community. Let's not forget that there are other pageants out there that are also known for their cash prizes and such. Perhaps Miss Cosmo World or also Universal Women, who started with you know, cash prizes upwards of 100,000 US dollars. I know that the Miss Globe also gets like a small cash prize, and then she also gets to keep the crown that is given yearly to the winner, and so on and on and on. So if you have any fun facts or information that you want to share, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Mwah.